Welcome to A Balanced Life on the Go. I'm Dr. Nicole Lindsay, your host on this podcast, along with Dr. Brian Jeanette. This is a podcast designed to help connect you to a more balanced life on the go. Each week, we will bring you simple, concise, and easy to implement ideas, tips, and strategies to help you connect to better nutrition, movement, and thinking so you can achieve balance in your busy life. Isn't this what life is all about? Trying to achieve balance so that we can be healthy, happy, and live to our fullest potential. We're glad you joined us. Let's get started. Hi, this is Dr. Nicole Lindsay.
And I'm Dr. Brian Jeanette.
We are your Asheville chiropractors at Back in Balance, and this is our podcast today. Welcome, Balanced Life on the Go. We are so excited. We have a special guest with us today, and we are going to talk to him about movement and exercise and fitness. This is Tyler Ervin. He's with us today. Welcome.
How's it going, everybody?
Tyler is the owner of Militia Fitness, the First Mountain Division located in Fletcher, North Carolina. It's one of 4 locations of Militia Fitness locations. The other 3 are being located in Florida, and he is also married. He has 2 awesome, beautiful kids, and he served 6 years in the United States Air Force as a combat civil engineer. So I work out at his gym.
I've been working out with Tyler for probably, maybe close to 2 years now, on and off?
Yeah, I'd say at least.
So, and it's awesome. It's an awesome place. So we are so excited you're here. So thanks
Excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
It's a fun place. I got to see all the behind-the-scenes stuff, how you guys get all the equipment set up with your incredible organization. And
You know who you're working with?
yeah. You know what I did notice is how much better Nicole's radio voice is. It's so much better. Did you hear it and play when we were testing it? It sounded so much better than ours.
She's been practicing.
I'm just going to be irritated by my voice.
You're doing just fine. So before we jump in and talk about movement, physical fitness, health, and life, and balance, the question is, what socks are you wearing today, Dr. Brian?
I wore a special pair of socks because these socks were a Christmas present from Dr. Nicole. So these are typically gray socks, but gray goes with everything, so I enjoy it.
Very fashionable. If you guys didn't know, Dr. Brian Jeanette, one of the most fashionable doctors you've ever met.
And flexible.
Look at that.
Yeah. So got some different shapes and sizes and colors on them.
Awesome. They look great.
So it's a Christmas gift. I gotta wear them.
So those are the socks. We have to get that sock talk in. So today we want to talk about bringing more balance into your busy life. Everybody's busy nowadays, but more importantly, how you go about bringing fitness into your busy life. And before we go into that, which we are going to give you, because you know we're practical here, we're all about giving you simple things that you can start doing right now to make a change in your life. Let's talk about the why behind fitness in your life. And who would know better than this guy sitting here with us what the benefits of exercise for a busy parent, busy student, busy retiree, or anyone? What's
Sure. I think one of the greatest benefits that isn't super obvious is just your energy levels. A lot of people, they talk about like, they're tired and they have this and that, and sure, they're busy, but even in their free time, they just don't have the energy to go work out. Right, and my response to that is, why would your body have that energy just sitting around if you never did work out? Like, I get why you're tired, but you could probably change that if you had a reason for your body to adapt to, the ability to have more energy just sitting around, which you're only going to get from exercise.
Yeah, it's that kind of catch-22. People think that they don't have the energy to work out, but when in reality, that exercise or that fitness gives them the energy to do it.
Exactly. That's my take on it, and that's what I tell people too. I mean, I don't have the energy to. Why would you?
Yeah, it's crazy. In fact, yesterday was my first day back to the gym after the holiday, and the first thing I said when I walked in, you said, "What's wrong?" Because he could see it all over my face. I was like, "I'm tired. I just don't feel good. I just don't feel good." And I didn't have energy, and when I finished, it was like a whole different feeling. I had my energy. You just looked
totally
at me and said,
person.
"Glad you're here." Yeah.
Yeah. You're one person when you walk in. You're a totally different person when you walk out.
Yeah. That's one of the best parts about working out just super regularly too, it's that constant reset to take you back to the same exact level, same level of exhaustion, and it's a very calm, relaxed state where you feel rewarded. You know, it's a steady grounding.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good way to put it. Yeah, you do. You keep getting back from it what you put into it, and even more,
Right.
more, you know. I know that, the title of this podcast is Balanced Life, right? We're constantly trying to create more balance in our life on the go. Because life is not slowing down any. I mean, we are...
Right.
Constant.
And it only is going to get faster with
Right.
technology and everything else. So with that comes stress in the body, right? So the busier you get, the more stress you have. And there's actually something that actually happens on a physiological level. It's called your sympathetic part of your nervous system actually becomes heightened and overworked. And that tends to happen when we become busier and more stressed out. But we are not designed for that as a human being. We're designed to only tap into that when we need to run from something.
Yeah, when something totally freaks you out, or you've got you're doing something very, very significant. But your day-to-day should be a manageable level of stress. It doesn't need to be, just frazzling you. And that's part of it is people don't have the release of working out a lot of times. And then part of it, of course, is just your day-to-day. I mean, I look at what middle school or elementary school, middle school, and high school do to a lot of students. I mean, these students are stressed out immensely, and I don't think it's a natural state to live.
It's not.
It's not.
To live like that, especially at that young age, just constantly freaked out about your time management and your homework and your grades,
right.
and all, and I'm not saying don't go to school, but obviously go to school, finish school,
but be a kid too. Yeah.
I mean, and I think that there's a page from that awareness. It's easier for adults to see in their kids that they need to take for themselves.
Yeah,
for sure.
But right now it's even more sad because they're taking out that exercise or that physical education from schools. What high schooler wants to do PE class now?
No,
they don't have time for it.
Yeah.
So we haven't stressed as much how movement and physical activity helps these students, helps these kids, right? But we know this. We know it from the research. We know it from all the evidence that's been going on for the last 75 years.
I mean, as long as they've had school, pretty much, they've had recess.
Yeah.
I mean, they've always had it. And then at some point in time, they just basically get rid of it and say, you don't need it anymore. Here's another class instead.
And less time for eating. So, 20 minutes to eat. And then,
20 minutes to eat?
It's a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit longer than that, but I know it just seems to be.
I mean, I can eat fast, but
20 minutes.
do I have to?
I know. And you think about digestion, how that affects your digestion when you're devouring your food really fast. And again, that sympathetic part of your nervous system is only designed to be kept at that level for a short period of time.
Right.
And what happens when it's going, you're releasing more cortisol, which damages your arteries. And as you know, what's the number one cause of death in our country?
Is it heart disease?
Heart disease.
Dang.
And stress is a big part of that.
It's got to be, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What kind of groundwork do you think this builds for our kids, the elementary school kids, the middle school kids? So we talked about, heart attack. We talk about increased cortisol levels. We talk about high risk of diabetes, rather chronic health conditions. Now, we like to say that most of these kids don't have chronic health conditions, but what kind of groundwork do you think this lays for these 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16-year-olds to be future adults, to be the future leaders?
Yeah, you take all the emphasis off of your own personal health to go maybe learn about personal health without actually having it, or go learn about something. And hopefully, the idea is to just make enough money to cover your health expenses. It seems to be the approach anyway. It's like, hopefully I can make enough money to pay to keep myself relatively healthy through surgery or something, or through through medication and
dealing with the symptoms, treating the symptoms.
Right, you just hit the nail on the head with that one. I mean, that's people go through life spending money to keep their health instead of keeping their health to spend their money.
Right.
Huh. I think that's a future podcast.
Yeah.
It is. It's an
and
entirely separate, its own subject.
going back to what you were saying about the groundwork on the kids, they may not have full-blown heart disease at 15 or full-blown diabetes, but it has to start somewhere.
It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't happen overnight.
Your 45-year-old
It doesn't happen for no reason.
Yeah.
It's just
It's diet, but lack of movement is a big part of that. So, and the bottom line is that the busier you get in life, the more you need to move. It's like kind of the irony of it. You think that oftentimes you don't have time for it because you're packed from morning till night, but the more stress you have in your life, the more important it becomes for you to carve time out in your day to bring your body back to balance, back to homeostasis, so that your body on a physiological level can deal with the stress so you don't end up with heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stroke, so you cannot have anxiety, depression. I mean, it's way more than just losing weight. It's if you truly want to prevent sickness, disease, if you want to be healthful, you have to move your body.
Yeah.
You have to exercise.
And people at home right now are going, yeah, lady, easier said than done. Everybody's like, and I understand like what that must be like to, feel like you just don't have time for stuff like that. But the reality is we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And if you're in a situation where you don't have the time or whatever your excuse is, you need to take a step back and just go ahead and prioritize where does your health stack up?
Yep.
I mean, do you care? Do you want to make it to 55? I heard a statistic that said the average doctor dies at like 56. And because it's a super stressful life. I know a lot of doctors don't work out. I mean, I'm sure you guys know.
I know a lot of chiropractors that don't work out, which is crazy because we preach health thought and fitness.
I mean, there's a
all the
lot.
time.
And they have, you combine that with the fact that they have a super stressful job. I mean, they are the doctors are the people who everyone else who doesn't work out is counting on saving their life. I mean, they have a ridiculously stressful job.
Yes. Yeah. So how would you recommend, Tyler, that someone fit exercise into their busy schedule? Like somebody that's right now listening to this saying, I'm so busy, I work from 9 to 7 at night, and I just don't have time for it. What would you say
I think
to them?
one of the first things that's probably really common for people is you need to have a serious talk with your employer if you're not self-employed. You need to sit down and be like, listen, this is the reality. This is my current health state. I need to do this to achieve this goal, and this has to happen. And if that can't happen, then you need to go find a job that lets you do that. I mean, that sounds like that's just blowing people's minds right now.
I think we should just drop the mic right now.
Yeah, I mean, how insecure do you have to feel that I have to have this job, otherwise I can't make enough money to pay for my future medical bill? I mean, what kind of strategy is that?
And it's kind of ironic that you say that because lots of big corporations that have hundreds of employees that offer health benefits for their employees, they get discounts and breaks for having healthier patients. They have lower premiums for having healthier employees that are on that. Why? Because that means the insurance company has to put less money out there to help them when they get sick.
Right.
So if you have healthier employees, you have more productive employees. If you have healthier employees that's more productive, you make more money, spend less money on insurance.
Right, and not only are these employees just healthier, so they take less sick days and they're
more
able,
productive.
but they're more productive also because they have more energy. People who work out have more energy than people who don't, and that's why people who work out sometimes seem irritating to people who don't work out.
Right. Yeah.
And sorry for your sedentary lifestyle, but everyone else is trying to feel good.
Yeah, and creativity. I mean, I think that's something that's underrated. We don't talk about that, but when you have more oxygen flowing in your body, your brain is functioning at a higher level. Yeah. So you can bring way more things to the table at work, and your employer might appreciate that, and you might be able to make more money for the company. Or
there's lots of companies that practice that. There's countries that practice this. Yeah. In Japan, for example, I mean, they all, corporate Japan, like they all have their 15-minute workouts at the beginning of the day at their office.
Love it. They also do naps during the day. So
they do what?
They take naps during the day.
I'm moving to Japan.
I'm moving to Japan too.
Not really.
Yeah.
I already take naps during the day every once in a while when I can.
So one of the things that can extrapolate off of what we're doing, we're talking about people that exercise are happier, people that exercise have more energy. What about those people that don't exercise?
Mm-hmm.
What about those people that don't have any energy, that aren't happy, that want to just take a pill to get happier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's this whole other thing that
Right.
we're talking about is that
Right.
people, depression.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I don't.
They
wanna-
don't know what they don't know.
They don't. Yeah, they don't know
They
what
just
they don't know.
don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? That because I think a lot of it is that it's not that they just are lazy. It's because they've never done it before.
Mm-hmm.
They've just never joined a gym. They've never done a class. They've never pushed themselves in that way.
Right.
Partly because the schools don't really introduce our kids to that. Maybe
Well, they've taken it away.
parents-
Like I said,
They're taking
in
it
sixth
away.
grade, fifth
Yeah.
or 6th
Mhm.
grade,
Yeah.
it's gone, and that recess element I think adults should have a modern equivalent to recess, and I provide that at my gym.
You
I
do.
think I consider
You
it
do.
recess
Yeah.
for grown adults.
Yeah, my daughter came one
No.
day to watch me work out and actually do a class with me. And
She was
on
so
our
into
way
it.
home, on our way home, she said, "That was so much fun." She said, "Mommy, it felt like I was at a playground for adults."
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and
exactly.
I said, "That's what
And
it
in the
feels like
same
to me."
way that recess would benefit your second grader, working
us.
out benefits you as an adult. I mean, it's
There's
literally
there's
the same
even
thing.
bullying that goes on.
That's right. I like to pick on people. Brian beats me up.
No,
We
make
grapple.
each other.
fun. It's
Iron sharpens
supportive.
iron. No.
Yeah.
We laugh. We support each other. I mean,
You know
it's
that
a
actually
lot
that
of
is an
fun.
element though. That the intimidation factor. People are afraid to join a gym a lot of times, and sometimes it's warranted. Because I mean, maybe the gym
to
you're
find the right
thinking
gym.
of, isn't cut out for you. Maybe the gym you're thinking, maybe you don't know what you're doing. Oh my gosh! What
Yes.
if maybe you think you know what you're doing, and really what happens is you go in and you end up just doing the same couple things over and over again until you get so bored that you stop doing it, and then see you next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens-
Does this
happens all
sound
the
like
time.
anybody who's listening? I mean,
Yeah.
like there's a chance that it's probably you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we've talked a lot about like reasons why you should exercise and some of the health benefits that do come with exercise. But my question is, how much exercise is enough, and how much exercise is adequate? So we know that through our guidelines that the government puts out, most of the things that the government puts out is pretty decently accurate. And so they recommend 150 minutes per week of aerobic activity. And aerobic activity is anything that gets your heart pumping and gets you out of breath. Pumps your heart, pumps your lungs, breaks the sweat, and going. So they recommend 150 minutes per week of anaerobic, but then they also recommend at least 2 times a week of weight training, resistance training, training your muscles. And there's so many benefits to that. I briefly mentioned about the depression that people talk about. They don't know what they don't know, so they
Right.
want to take a pill for it. Well, we know that patients that follow these recommendations of 150 minutes of aerobic exercise every week have the same exact effects as somebody that takes an antidepressant medication. We know that. So they did in the
Probably
American
with less
College-
side effects.
With
too.
less side effects, yeah.
Right.
I think.
In the American College of Sports Medicine, in their Health and Fitness Journal, they did this. They took 400 patients that are clinically depressed with major depression disorder, and they put one group, split them in half, put one group on exercise 3 times a week, 150 minutes a week, and they gave the other people the medication. Well, these people, not only were they happier on the exercise, but they had all the other effects. They had the heart protective effects. They had the lowering cholesterol. They had the lowering the BMI. They had lowering the body fat percentage. And they increased their scores on their depression outcomes by 47%,
Wow.
which matches what the drugs did. Actually,
Right.
it's better than what the drugs did because the drugs came with a 30% reduction
Huh.
in symptoms,
Wow.
but exercise was a 47% reduction
Yeah.
in symptoms.
So what you're saying is that medical doctors should be prescribing exercise?
Absolutely.
Feeling good about yourself
Oh,
because you worked out goes a long way towards feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
yes.
So
Does that
that
make
I mean,
sense?
it really
I mean, like,
does. It really
That's-
does.
yeah. And I love that you said that, because one of the barriers for exercise is not feeling good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to put on those exercise clothes and go to the gym,
Right.
because you might not fill them out the way that social media says that you should fill them out.
Or especially if you end up just going by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're like,
Yeah.
okay,
Very intimidating.
you're overweight or whatever your scenario is, and you walk in the gym, you're like, oh man, you don't know who you're gonna see, or you're worried about who's gonna see you, and then you're kind of in there just trying to make up what you're gonna do. Did you take the time? Did you take 20 minutes to write your workout? And structure it in regards to what you did last week and then what you're doing next week. Did you do that? You didn't do any of that. You just walked in with your yoga pants on and a shirt that's too big because you're insecure, and you made it up, and then you got out of there and you're like, oh, I'm so glad to be out of there. I don't know who was looking at me, but I didn't like it.
Tyler, that's what you're there for.
It is.
I don't want to write my own programming.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell myself what exercises to do,
It's a
because
pain.
I'm not going to do the exercise I need to do. Why? Because those are hard.
Yeah, I want to do
Well,
those I'm only good
here's
at.
the
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
too. We are busy, right? That's the whole point of this podcast, to help figure out a way that we can help you put healthful things into your life to create more health, right? Which will help balance it out. And if you have to think about your workout and what you need to do from day to day, you may not go because it is too much work, right? So you were saying the minimum amount of exercise would be 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week for anaerobic, and then at least two times a week weight training. So what I like about your gym is that you provide that, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, sometimes more, in a class.
Right. And it's structured based on what your body is going to need. And that's what Militia Fitness does specifically too. We train people for goals that are specific to that individual. So we run 4 programs, and within those 4 programs we have a program that's geared towards putting on as much size and strength as possible, which is great for people who want to lose weight. And that what I mean is I don't have to satisfy both those groups of people at the same thing at the same time. So the people that want to go put on as much size and strength as possible go over here, and then the people who are trying to lean out as much as possible go over there, and then there's 2 programs that are sort of in between. And then we a lot of times throughout the day within the program we share a lot of the same movements. For instance, if we're all going to do a bunch of back squats, this how you structure your sets and reps and your rest times and anything else that you might superset it with and so forth. That's going to vary based on the goals. But the cool thing is we're all still doing back squats, so it makes it easy on the staff to go just take a scan and just go, okay, this looks exactly how it should look. And that's what Militia Fitness specializes in. And then furthermore is if you have a very specific goal, like you're a professional athlete of some kind, or you want to compete in something, we train people for everything from aesthetics and physique all the way to winning World Cups and downhill mountain biking.
So you've got a bunch of professional athletes. You've got a bunch of
we got a handful.
mountain bikers.
Now let's talk about
real
that.
Tough folks.
So who could benefit from coming to work out at Militia? What type of person?
The question is who doesn't benefit from working out, all right? But the reality is it's just a gym filled mostly with normal people.
Yeah, so you've got your...
And we've got people that are professional athletes. Yeah, we've got 5 or 6.
You've got some student athletes in there.
We've got some student athletes that have achieved some scholarships too, and just better health in general. And
you've got a couple chiropractors.
I've got my chiropractors.
You've got some medical doctors.
I've got a handful of medical doctors.
You've got some firefighters and policemen.
Yeah, a lot of ex-military too.
Moms, busy working parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've got beginners. You've got people that have never worked out a day in their life coming there.
That's right. I've got people who have never touched a weight. I have your neighbor who comes and works out with us. That's it's for everybody. It's for people who are intimidated, because the cool thing about our gym is it's in a group setting. Okay, so you don't always have someone just hovering over you, constantly just like waiting for you to,
like a personal fitness
trainer.
trainer.
And it's not basically what you would pay for 2 hours of personal training covers a month of training with us.
Yeah.
And
that's
not an exaggeration.
And you're still getting that too. You're getting
all the
form
attention that you could possibly need And because safety is huge. I mean, that's a huge part. It's number one for how we prioritize our staff to handle running the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So it's safety, range of motion, efficiency. That's the first three things we're looking for in that order.
But let's talk about one important thing is the name of the gym, Militia Fitness. So the name, why this name?
So the Militia Fitness originated in Florida. The creator, my business partner Jordan Bowen, is down there. He and several other guys run 3 gyms down there. Militia Fitness, the name though, comes from first and foremost the fact that the area we were in it's right by a military base. Actually, like 2 or 3 military bases. So there's a lot of military folks there, and just a lot of military folks. Were looking for the next levels of fitness for, their job, or maybe they just, for their life, or make PT tests, take it easy. What they just maybe they just like working out hard. So a lot of military people with a lot of military mindsets were in there, and not even just a lot of military, people themselves, but their spouses and then their sons and daughters. So it's a mindset, of. Some people might say discipline, but it eventually turns to rituals. Eventually you just
habits.
You just habits and rituals, and you just get up and where are you going? I'm already at the gym. Like, what are you doing now? Well, now I'm warming up. Like, you're just, that's sort of the atmosphere that developed, and so it wasn't like the same as being in the military, of course, because it's nothing but military people. But it's just a mindset. So it was kind of like a militia. So Jordan came up with that name. That's what he went with and loved it, and it's stuck ever since. So
you don't have to be of military background.
No, absolutely not. Most people aren't.
Got it.
Most people aren't.
Yeah, because I know that sometimes, I know when I first heard the name, the first thing that came to mind was, oh, what type of workout are we talking about?
Right. Names can often be very misleading.
Do I have to shoot someone?
Right, yeah.
You don't have
So, I go there, and it's not. I mean, you will oftentimes make me put down a lighter weight and pick up a heavier weight, but
You're welcome.
You're absolutely welcome for that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about Militia Fitness, one of the reasons why I love going to Militia Fitness is because of that structure, right? I know when I walk in, I might walk in with like 3 hours of sleep. I slept terrible. I feel like terrible. And I know that once I go in there, that structure of, okay, coach is going to explain the workout. Okay, coach is going to lead us through a warm-up. Okay, coach is going to tell us what to do. That's going to take energy away from my mind and put that energy more towards my body, waking my body up. If I don't have to use my mind for that.
That was one of the main attractions for me. When I first joined in 2010, I had just gotten back from Afghanistan, and they had opened up in Fort Walton Beach. And I was a squadron PTL, like physical training leader, right? So that was one of my additional duties since I got to the squadron. That's like an Ervin first class, right? Or Airman, or E2 or E3, whatever I was at. And I just thought it was cool. I'd always been attracted to it, always liked working out. And, I was always the one who came up with all the workouts. I would lead a group of 450 people who were just ready to, bark down my throat if I, even stumbled over myself as I'm trying to be loud and do push-ups at the same time or whatever it is I'm trying to do, So I was always having to be the one to come up with the workouts, and I had never taken the necessary steps to just learn more. And you have to do that, you have to submit yourself under someone else who knows more than you. A lot of people have a hard time doing that. And when I first got to that gym, I pulled up, and I could see people doing all kinds of things and doing stuff that I really didn't have much knowledge on. And I was just like, there are people here who know more than me. And you have to accept this, Tyler. You have to accept these people know more than you.
only if you want to grow.
Yeah, only if you want to grow. If you don't want to grow, that's fine. You can,
stay in your little bubble.
And so I just basically was like, sign me up, let's do this. They're like, oh, you don't want to do the intro workout? I was like, sign me up. So
that's awesome.
I did the intro workout after I'd already signed up. I didn't care. I was already in it because I could tell they knew so much more than me, right?
Opportunity to learn, to grow.
Yeah, I mean, and basically I was just I just did what I was told for a long time, and then started and wanted to be good at it because I was having so much fun with it. And eventually I was like, man, I want to do this, And so I took the necessary steps to enter our internship application or our process, and just went down that road and never looked back.
Rest is history. Yeah.
So how much coaching would you say that you give on a daily basis or give individual to a class?
I mean, as much as needed. I mean,
Any experience level?
Yeah, absolutely. Any experience level. I mean, there are people who have never touched a barbell or, a dumbbell or ever worked out ever. I've had people never worked out. So you can imagine the amount of attention that's required for that. And that's totally fine. We are 100% prepared for someone to come in or multiple people to come in who have never worked out ever before.
I think I'm proof of that. I mean, I've worked out, but I haven't done some of the moves that I'm doing now. And yeah, I mean, you made sure, and your coaches in there all made sure that I didn't increase my weight until I had my form down. And even now, I mean, they call me out on stuff. Your knee's not doing this, your form's bad, back down the weight, and let's work on that first. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Right.
One of the things that I love about your gym too is that it's like it's always different. It's always different, the workouts, like what you were saying, but it's kind of exciting to know when I get there. I don't know what to, because I'm the type of person I don't like to watch the trailer of a movie before I go see the movie. I totally come surprised, I'll
see the first 5 minutes of a trailer, like, okay, it's good, shut it off, I'm going to watch it, just shut it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we do the same thing. A lot of gyms will publish their workouts the day before, and I think that just breeds a mentality of mental midgets.
Yeah,
people who can only come in and work their hardest on days they know they're going to be awesome at.
Yeah.
And to those people, you're going to have holes in your game. That's all there is to it. You have to you have to do the things that you're not good at, address why you're not good at it, and then get good at them.
Yes. And be pushed,
that's
in
the
that
point.
way.
So, I mean, make no mistake, it's great to get better at something that you're the best at. And I think that's awesome. But there's no reason not to work on areas that you're not good at.
For sure.
And guys are the worst for this. Guys are the worst because they've never done this movement before, and they don't have the coordinate. Olympic lifting or something. They've never.
I'm used to bench press and bicep curls. Why do I need a back squat?
That's right. And like they don't have the
when I can
they
work
don't have the
all day.
security to back down the bar to less than what the female next to them is using to get a proper depth on a squat. And I will make you do that.
Yeah, he will. He will.
I'll make you do it, and then you will also then be humbled and motivated though to continue to make progress in those areas because you're going to do that movement you're not good at, and we do not publish our workouts ahead of time, so you don't know what day that is. You've already walked in the door. You've already walked in. I've already seen you. I've already made eye contact with you.
I have to
As soon as you make eye contact, you're not allowed to walk back out.
What's up? So and so, yeah.
There's been a couple times where I walked in, I saw the workout, and I was like, "Oh man, can I leave?"
Tyler's not here. He can't see me.
Yeah, no, I've already seen you. You're already here. So
that's where the military comes out. So, so we like to, as part of this podcast, give one thing during the podcast that our listeners can start to implement today, that they can work on in regards to our topics. Of course, our topic would be movement, exercise, whether it's coming to your gym to try a workout or starting, any kind of workout. What's the one thing, Tyler, that you would suggest to our listeners that they can begin to do now to get more movement in their life and create more balance?
Okay. I thought about this question, and it's broad, because you're addressing so many people on so many different levels. But I can tell, the one piece of advice I give someone is not from me. It is, I'm going to steal it straight from Tony Robbins, who I think is awesome. All right, and he says, immediate, massive action towards your goals, regardless of your energy level. I may have added some words to that, but immediate, massive action.
You made it your own.
Yeah, I made it my own. Yeah. So the immediate, massive action is, regardless of your energy levels, to me is just like, goes back to the very beginning of the podcast when we're saying like, you go back to your excuses and stuff, and you need to, before you list off your excuses, you need to list off your priorities. And if you don't live a lifestyle that supports your actual priorities, you need to take a step back and take immediate massive action. That could be getting a different job. Mm-hmm. It could be having a sit down with your boss. It could be whatever,
Yeah.
It could be
massive
you.
action.
It could be you, the boss, going, "Hey, me and all my employees are all going to work out."
Yeah.
I mean, immediate Massive action. Not something that you slowly, you think about, you think about, you think about, and eventually that little nagging voice, you just think about it until it just goes away and it doesn't bother you as much and you haven't changed anything. No, that's why it needs to be immediate.
I love it.
Kind of leap and then look.
Yeah, you go in the right direction, make a move.
Yeah, and also I like what you said about making yourself a priority. If you haven't been the priority, if you're a parent and maybe a new parent and you put your kid, we do that. We have to do that. But there comes a time where you feel miserable and you start to not identify with yourself. You don't know who you are anymore. You've lost yourself.
Right.
And you've got to come back to that. You've got to prioritize and say, okay, how can I get back to me? I got to get feeling good again.
Absolutely.
Get some exercise.
You got to put your oxygen mask on before you put anybody else's on. That's the reason that's on those instructions cards. Okay, it's not like you have the option to take care of someone first. You've got to be squared away, to be able to take care of anyone else. If there's anyone else in your life worth taking care of, you first must take care of yourself to be able to take care of them. And if you want to have your kids wiping your butt at age 62, that's not on you then.
That's right.
That's my dog trying to get in the door.
That's Bronson, who follows Tyler everywhere. And that brings me to another thing, too, that's cool about your gym. We see people sometimes if your babysitter cancels on you, school's closed. Tyler is so cool about having the family as part of it. The community that he's created in there is
Sometimes
amazing.
I see more dogs than kids.
We've had a gym record of 8 dogs in the gym before. It was a little obnoxious, to be honest, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, so
but
that's
they're all
cool.
welcome.
They are welcome. We love our dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm an amateur dog trainer on the side. Not really, but I just, Also, amateur kid trainer if we need them.
Yeah,
if we need to.
So, Tyler, if somebody listening wants to come and work out at your gym, how can they get started?
Well, they could give me a call or email, but my phone number is 828-808-8671. They can call or text me if they want, if they're interested, because I'm interested, we're interested, have a good time. It's like a workout party every day. They can also email at staff@militiafitnessnc.com. They can give us an email there. They can check out our website. It's militiafitnessnc.com. But any of those are good.
Can they come do a free class?
Absolutely. We offer a free intro workout. Come out, check out the facility, check out the programs, check out the community. We have an awesome community. I cannot speak enough about how cool our community is. It is super, super fun.
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, everybody knows each other. If you don't know everybody, it's just because you're just brand new and you're getting ready to know everybody.
Yeah.
And it's a good time. So
awesome. Well, I thank you so much for being part of our podcast today. I think this is an integral part of creating more balance and health for our listeners, for everyone on the go, and just in general. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
Tyler and Militia Fitness a chance. If you're local, go check out a workout class. You'll see me. You'll see Dr. Brian in there. You'll see Becky. We're in there, and so are a lot of other people, and it's a great place to be.
And if you're not local, go find some place and take care of yourself.
There it is.
There you go.
I mean, come on now.
Make yourself a priority.
Immediate, massive action.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.